let's dive right into the horror classic, Silent Hill. So we're this guy, Harry Mason. We've woken up in a car, didn't really tell us how we got here, and we're trying to find this girl, Cheryl. So let's backtrack, because I've missed something. We're not even 10 seconds in, and I've already messed up. Before you even start the game, there's an intro sequence, which, if you don't even know who these characters are, you don't know who you are, well, it's kind of a hot mess. And when I say before you start the game, I don't mean like, you click start, now you're waiting for some textbook boilerplate stuff before you can play anything. No, this is back at the title screen. Now I know what you're thinking. These are probably just some clips from some cutscenes in the game that they've put in this demo to show how good the graphics are. No, 90% of these are not in the game at all. This is your backstory, and you have to watch it from the title screen with no explanation. Now, it does kind of work. I've beaten the game like 7 times. I know who all these people are. I kind of got an idea of what's going on here, but it's like 2001 Space Odyssey. I'm just seeing whatever it is I want to see at this point. So I'll give you a quick summary of the highlights. You're this guy, Harry. He's on vacation with his daughter, Cheryl. Where's Harry's wife? Well, she's dead. Then some shit goes down, and we're crashing. Luckily, it's the 1990s, so no one's wearing a seatbelt, Cheryl doesn't have a car seat, and she's safely thrown free from the wreckage. You know, in Harry's defense, there's pterodactyls flying around everywhere, and it kind of looks like he GTA'd this whip from Jurassic Park, so he probably just got in that car accident because he was running from a T-Rex. So we decided to play a game of hide-and-go-seek with Cheryl down the back alley of nightmarish agony. We find a wheelchair and a hospital bed that looks like it was used for the Midnight Surgeon special. And after only a few more clicks on murder porn at silenthill.gov, we find a skinned dead guy hanging from a wall of barbed wire. Now I'm getting planked by psychos with knives. Well, that got weird fast. We wake up in this diner, and this police officer, Sybil's, been waiting for a chance to fire off a few questions at us while we're still delirious and we don't have a lawyer present.
Wait a second, I'm just a tourist.
See, Sybil's been putting in those extra hours to work towards that promotion to detective, so she seems to think something bizarre is going on. Maybe it's just every time I look around, it's in my face. You know, Sybil seems to think that it's strange that we aren't packing heat in the good old US of A, so she lends us her Roscoe, but then she makes up an excuse to leave and go do a background check on our sus ass. I love how she gives us this textbook Under Siege crash course on how to use a gun.
I'm gonna give you this assault rifle. It's an MP5.
An MP5 isn't an assault rifle, but okay.
The definition of semi-automatic is for when you depress the trigger, 1 round will go off.
That's more of an oversimplification than a definition, but if you're saying I can shoot pterodactyls with it, I'll go with it. So we start with only 15 rounds for a handgun and the knife. I'm going to play through this game twice, and the first time it's on like Donkey Kong. I can use whatever I want, but the second time through, melee only. Without question, the hardest part of a melee only run is this fucking pterodactyl right at the beginning. So get used to hearing,
Radio. What's going on with that radio?
This fucking pterodon takes like 14 hits with the knife, and your timing has got to be perfect too. What I found work is you want to get him running back and forth along the bar. Run past him so that way he'll miss you, and then quickly turn around and try to slash the shit out of him. If you attack too soon, you miss. If you attack too late, you miss. Also, if you don't time running away from him perfectly, sometimes he'll bounce off of you like a basketball to the head. And you really don't want that to happen because then you got to get him back on track and start over. Now, this is only going to be a problem for you if you try to challenge yourself by playing the game without a gun. But if you do, now you have a few tips. Needless to say, this is a lot easier if you just choose to use the handgun. The radio you get from here is kind of interesting. It sort of works like a radar, and it warns you about the enemies that are nearby. Sometimes it warns you about guys that can't hurt you, like these ghost penguins. Other guys make the radio noise, and then when they see you, they make a... Fuck, that's scary. Sounds like you just made a deposit at the bank in Parasite Eve. You know, these guys kind of remind me of a penguin too, but like the Danny DeVito penguin covered in spandex and holding a kitchen knife like a Tonberry who's sick of you and your fucking shit, like trying to be alive in the same world as him.
Actually, it's a lot like that.
Then there's pterodactyls and shit everywhere, like out here at the Circle K. Well, I guess make that the Circle 8. Really, I think they were trying to knock off a 7-Eleven. Right, that sounded bad. I didn't mean knock off a you know what I mean. What I don't understand is how they could pass up a perfect opportunity to make it a 6-9. What we're really trying to do is track down Cheryl one step at a time, so it might be a good opportunity to ask, who's Cheryl?
You're not my supervisor!
I've beaten this game like 7 fucking times, and I don't know either. For now, we'll just say that she's Harry's daughter and go with it. If you're doing a melee-only run, a great thing is in this back alley that you chase Cheryl down, you find a steel pipe. The pipe is, well, it's not good, but it's a lot better than the knife. No matter if you're using a gun or not, something you may want to learn how to do is just run the fuck away from everything. Standing your ground in the streets can feel pretty tedious and doesn't necessarily feel like it gets you anywhere productive. Guys have a tendency to respawn 2 to 3 times before they stop showing up, and that's true both in the streets and in the dungeons. Oftentimes it's a good plan to figure out where a high traffic area is, clear the guys out there, and then maybe not waste your time with everyone else. Of course, I'm a masochist for you guys, so I still killed 129 guys with a knife, a steel pipe, a hammer, and a katana just to prove to myself that I could do it. And if you're curious about these no-aiming shots, that's because I decided to dump the whole 15 rounds that Sybil gave me right off the bat like Cortez sinking his own ships.
Pull the fucking trigger till it goes click.
Part of me thinks that this melee-only run somehow got put on extra hard because these guys keep getting up the second I knock them down. Some guys just spawn at random, it feels like, and it's just, surprise, 3 motherfuckers! Out here on the streets, there's not really a lot of advantage to fighting most of the guys. It just kind of wastes your bullets, unless you really want to explore. You can check out with jealousy the low prices at the Shell Station, or the Hell Station. There's a nice nod to The Shining with a red rum on the wall, and my personal favorite is this exact Jim Beam logo. Unfortunately, this fucking door isn't real, which sucks, because Harry could really use a drink. I'm not really sure what's up with this one. Is it supposed to be Marigold or LD? I'll let you decide.
I want the LD, baby.
For the most part, it's just easier to run away from these guys on the streets. At some point after the hospital, it spawns like 5 or 6 pterodactyls near the drawbridge by the gas station and also at the intersection near the antique store, but it's fucking rigged. Look at this shit. I am unloading my fucking gun into this one guy and he will not die. He won't die. It's taken more shots with the handgun than that first guy took with just the knife. I shot him 18 fucking times, and he still got away so his mob of friends could fuck with me. Usually the guys aren't that bad, but you could see how you might waste all of your ammo on these overworld guys when it might just be better to leave them alone. Of course, if you're like me, you like to explore every possible corner because you never know what you might find. Sick Buick Estate, dog. Big house got a fucking V8 in this bitch. Wood paneling too? Fucking dope. Downside of running away is you can easily have 5 or 6 guys chasing you all at once, and you have to run kind of funny to keep the pterodactyls from hitting you. It's kind of hard to explain, but you sort of do this left to right bob and weave thing, and if you do it right, the pterodactyl just kind of fucks right off. You're going to find there's a lot of times this game likes to hide information from Harry. Not from you, but from Harry. It makes sense, but there's a lot of times you've already got it figured out, but Harry doesn't until you've found the right thing. Kind of like this doghouse key. Yeah, I know it's in the doghouse, but you can't get it till you go find something that tells you it's there. Or there's this puzzle where you gotta open a drain valve and then stick a ball in a hole so that way you can flush water to run a key down a drain, whatever. The fact is you can't do it in the order that would make sense to you if you already knew how it works because you have to fucking learn it through Harry's eyes. On top of that, there are items that won't appear until you unlock them. My first time playing, I found this chainsaw. Groovy. But it said I didn't have any gasoline. I thought I looked around the gas station pretty good, but I didn't see any gas. And I'd gotten this plastic bottle in the hospital the first time. I didn't know what to do with it. So I tried using it at the gas station. Nothing. Turns out the gas doesn't appear until you unlock it. What a mindfuck. I thought I was going crazy. But I got proofs. And sometimes there's doors that you won't be able to unlock until a later playthrough, like this room where the katana is. You just have to keep searching the game over again as you keep unlocking things. When I got to the last dungeon on my first time through, I was so confused, I just started making my own maps. Shit starts getting physically impossible. At least all of the doors still follow the commutative property of mathematics, unlike Sonic Labyrinth, but it was crazy enough I had to start keeping track. One time when I played through this game, I went to every single fucking door in the city to mark it on my map to see which ones would open. Spoiler alert, only the obvious ones you would think open. Except for maybe this jewelry store. That was a surprise. Otherwise, I felt like a door-to-door salesman in a town with no one in it. I kind of wonder what Harry would have done if somebody had answered the door.
Good evening, sir. I used to be addicted to crack, but now I'm off and trying to stay clean.
Okay.
That is why I'm selling magazine subscriptions. Help me out.
You used to be addicted to crack?
Because of how things unlock in the game, you're just going to have to explore things more than once. You have to get used to double exploring the dungeons, too. You'll show up and everything will be normal, except for Danny DeVito trying to hump you to death. But then you'll get to a certain point, and the whole place will change into a nightmare world, where the layout's the same, but everything is different. The world transitions to some serious nightmare fuel everywhere you go. Random noises popping up to scare you. Then there's a blood-seeking tentacle machine of love.
Too much of anything, I'm good for you.
Sometimes you can tell the jump scare's coming. Oh, what's in the locker? Something's gonna jump out. Oh.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
Well, you win some, you lose some. Motherfucker! What? Huh, I don't get it. What's up with this bathroom? It doesn't look like a nightmare world. It just looks like a regular men's room at a Waffle House an hour after last call, and Brad and his boys decide to pre-game with a White Castle Crave Case challenge before going to the pub to wash it all down with beer before liquor. And Casey, he thought he had a chance with Katrina, but he couldn't work up the courage to ask her out until an hour after the bars closed. And it was all going good until the grits showed up that he didn't even order. And you know all this because you're sitting 2 booths down trying to mind your own business when a 6.9 gut quake hits the restaurant and everyone's got to go to the bathroom at the same time. Not that I've ever been in that situation. Something that reminds me of Eternal Darkness are these weird moments where something's messing with Harry's head. That usually triggers a change to the nightmare world. Or after that rough night at the Waffle House, Harry might just wake up in a pool of his own piss. Lay off the single-serving Jim Beams, Harry. Just because the Circle 8 was trash doesn't mean looting's okay. There are some better weapons you can pick up in the nightmare worlds, like the shotgun and the rifle. I did find in my melee-only run that the shotgun actually spawns in the police station if you don't pick it up in the school. My first time through the game, I missed the rifle completely. You fall through this grating right into a boss fight. And the rifle just kind of looks like debris laying in the background. This whole section of the game you'll find isn't very beneficial when you explore, and you can't go back to it, so it's easy to miss. And yeah, I'm no Magellan when I was making these maps, but I checked it pretty fucking good, and there was nothing here that was worth my time. I'm not sure if the rifle respawns somewhere because I didn't find it until my second time playing, which is frustrating as fuck because you find rifle ammo everywhere after you've passed it. If you want to do a melee-only run, then I can't recommend enough that you go get this hammer from the basement of the hospital as soon as you can. It's easily the best weapon in the game. Even when I do a playthrough with guns, I find myself using the trusty hammer the most. It's way stronger than the steel pipe, but most importantly, it staggers enemies. Pretty reliably, you can tell someone charging you, "Stop! Hammer time!" I am a little disappointed we don't get a wheel gun since we see Dr. Kaufman has one. Sorry, I'd hate to misrepresent his character. That's not how he pronounces it.
Dr. Michael Kaufman.
I like how they never try to make this guy seem legit. His story is that he fell asleep at work. The first thing he does is try to shoot us as Harry gracefully swats the bullets away like the Matrix. Then he talks down to average Joes like Harry, telling them about how we don't believe in monsters and shit.
Yeah.
Hey, we've seen some shit, Doc. Just because we didn't go to fancy medical school like you doesn't mean I don't know a fucking pterodactyl's real when it's attacking me. Most of the time we're not fighting monsters anyway. We spend a lot of the game beating the shit out of orderlies. There's only one nurse we don't give the hammer to, and that's Lisa.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
I think Lisa might be my favorite character in this game. She both knows everything and nothing about what's going on at the same time. It's never really clear what's going on with her. When she isn't giving you the crazy eyes sitting over Harry's passed out drunk face, she's pretty informative about the backstory. I love how out of all the messed up stuff Harry sees in this game, he's particularly weirded out by this basement. Okay, there's dudes hanging from the walls and shit everywhere, but this one creepy bed, that's too much?
Wait! I just remembered something.
Ah, yes, from back in her glory days in Silent Hill, before she was nursing possessed teenagers and giving the creepy finger to strangers. So we break the lock and get a lovely romp in the sewers with Scyther's bastard cousins. This is the only place the radio doesn't give you a heads up, so you may want to take it slow down here. This time I thought I'd be clever and I'd just run past all these fucking guys rather than fighting them, but fuck shit, I hit the fucking wall. Now fuck, he's blocking the fucking door. Now fuck, I can't get it open. What? Oh, mother Fucker, I have to do the whole sewers again. Here I'm getting chased, but this guy's always in the way, so I figure I would just wipe him out with the shotgun real quick, but fuck, his body's blocking me. At least on round 2 to the door, that guy just walked out of the way for me. We do run into Sybil a few more times, too.
Were you the one who cut the fence?
That's a fucking trap, don't answer.
Yeah.
Fuck, Harry, you're supposed to ask for a lawyer. There's also something about Sybil's walk here where she's just too cool for school. Chillaxing on her way to the theme park. It still blows my mind that there's a theme park here. I can picture it now. 6 Flags over Silent Hill. Come on, Mom! I want to ride the Slaughter Coaster! Sounds fucking awesome! So, yeah, we get sent there by this Dahlia Gillespie lady who sounds... Well, she sounds like she's whacked out of her gourd.
I see everything. The path of the hermit concealed by flowers. Strength must overcome petty desire. Childish sleep talk. The dead will walk and martyrs will burn in the fires of hell. I see it all now. Yes, everything.
So was that more everything than the everything that you told us you saw the first time, or is it the same amount of everything because everything was fucking everything the first time? Yeah, she's pretty fucking crazy. The first time I played the game, I didn't see that she had put this key down on the table. I knew I needed to go to the antique store because I saw that telepathic image thing of it, but when I got there, the door was locked after fighting through that aforementioned mob of pterodactyls. I guess I just see less everything than she does. It's nice how out of all the babbling bullshit Dahlia says, Harry picks up on her saying, the town is being devoured by darkness. He really thinks this is important because he asks everyone about it. I like how Sybil gives the most straightforward answer.
Must be on drugs.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. But it's not over. This is that job interview you showed up 20 minutes late to in the wrong clothes on drugs. Any questions? This guy's drug brain's delicious. You gotta try this. The game is pretty good at making you wonder the whole time, is Harry on drugs? Did he hit his head in the car accident? Is any of it real? It's not until pretty late in the game when you start running into Cow F Man in the resort, you start getting a broader picture of what's going on. Still not a lot of answers though, even in this motel. Just get to reminisce on the days when they had cigarette vending machines. I do want to talk about the combat in this game. It plays very differently if you're using guns or melee weapons. If you're using a gun, you have to get used to holding down the button to aim and waiting slightly. Otherwise, Harry will tend to miss a lot. If you're using melee weapons, obviously you want to fight guys one at a time, if you can. The pipe takes like 8 hits to knock down one of these guys. And your timing has got to be just right. If you attack them too soon, you'll miss, and then you're gonna get grabbed. And if you attack them too late, well, guess what? You're gonna get grabbed. The katana does damage pretty fast, and it seems like it makes multiple wound points like the knife in Code Veronica. I try to avoid using it except against crowds and the bosses. Even with the katana, it took me 10.5 minutes to beat this split head guy. He's the only enemy in the game where I felt like this strafe run helped. It's easy to have a lot of close calls with this guy. The main problem in a melee-only run is how clunky the controls are. Yeah, we're not playing The Legend of Zelda here. Harry is clumsy on his feet. If you want him to do anything other than run in a straight line, he just comes to a complete stop. Sometimes he just falls down the stairs. The camera is a problem too. It won't let you look where you want. Why is this so hard? And yeah, it took me a while to figure out how to beat this bug boss in a melee-only run. I couldn't figure out how to hit him. Once I realized that he can't go through this grating and I could just stand on it, that made it a lot easier. This other bug boss, not really sure why, but he's kinda easy if you just play really aggressively. The easiest boss to beat with melee weapons is the final boss. Remember how I fired off all of my rounds first thing in the game? Well, if you have no ammo in your inventory, all you have to do is run in a circle for 5 minutes, and he just dies on his own. The hardest part is that it's an endurance run for your thumb. Feels like once you get past this first air screamer, the rest of the game is smooth sailing. Well, that's Silent Hill. I feel like I have a lot more to say about this game, but it's hard to fit it all in one place. A great horror game for the PlayStation that, of course, spawned mini sequels of its own. If you're fine with having a few nightmares as you play through a game, then this one's definitely worth picking up. Till next time, keep on playing.